Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's live coffee talk. If you are watching this live, if you're popping in today live with me, just go ahead and put it in the comment. I don't know. Today is a happy Wednesday. One for you are extremely happy and thrilled that it is Wednesday. Two, you're not so thrilled about it because it is a hump day. Or three, you are just excited to see me. So 1, 2, or 3, just put that in the comment as you're popping in here live. So welcome to Live Coffee Talk. This is a show where we talk about love, courage, and connection. And if you are new to me, I am Michelle Quay. I am a confidence coach, and I help women entrepreneurs to tell a better story so that they can get seen, get heard, and get hired. Exciting, right? That's everything that we wanted in our lives, just to get seen, get heard, and get hired, and maybe get some more love. So today, I am thrilled to bring my friend Denise Stegall here. Denise is a CEO and also a curator of the healthylist.com. She's going to tell you more about what livinghealthylist.com is. She is an inspirational thought leader. She is determined to provide her audience with honest, reliable, research-backed information on health, wellness, personal development, and fun that can be implemented in real life. Like, how cool is that to take something that's really in the concept and moving it into something that is practical, that you can use in real life? That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's about taking action. But do you have the courage to do so? So without further ado, I'd like to bring my friend Denise onto the stage. You're going to love her. You're going to love her energy. Let me just warn you. She's like high level.
Hello.
See, I knew it. My beautiful lady. So Denise, I missed you so much because I know way back when we connected, I was on your show and you were just this high vibrational human being, and I'm just so attracted to you. And on that day, I'm like, Denise, you got to come to my show.
I was thrilled. I mean, this is what life is about. It's about connecting with people. And that's really, to me, when you connect with somebody, that is what makes life enjoyable and fulfilling. And, so many of us don't have that, on a regular basis, but we can. And that really is what I hope to provide people, is that, that ability to connect and to feel confident and find the courage to kind of live the life that they always dreamed of.
Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure, so I would always think back on my own journey where I was struggling to get out there and get myself in front of people. And coming this far, I know it was not always rainbow and sunshine. And looking at you, I'm really curious about your story. So tell us about your story.
I wish every day was rainbows and sunshine.
And we were just talking about this earlier, like all these struggles.
Living in Minnesota, we have about sunshine for about 4 months out of the year. So this is a good sunshine time.
And we're in California, so yeah, sunshine is.
You always have sunshine. So struggles. So life is interesting. It's never linear. Like, you never go, okay, this is where I am, and I'm going to go on this straight path, and that's how I'm going to get to that next part of my life. It doesn't work that way. So, it's more of a crooked climb, funny enough, which is the name of my podcast that I do with a friend of mine. And so at one point, quite a few years ago now, I found myself having a health issue. And, I'm a pretty healthy person. I eat right. I eat real food. I exercise. I'm like you, I'm tiny. I'm only about 5 foot tall. So I've always had to pay attention to what I eat, how I exercise, my sleep. I've always had to pay attention to that. But what was happening was, at 37 years old, I started to really struggle from menopausal symptoms or perimenopausal symptoms. And at 37, if you've never had any experience with this or any conversations, it's eye-opening and it's frightening, because all of a sudden you're having these problems that you think that you're not supposed to have until you're in your late 50s and 60s. And when you're 37, you're going, I know I was, holy moly, what's going on? What's wrong with me? I truly, truly believe that there was something wrong with my health. And so, of course, what did I do? I went to the doctor, who basically said to me, oh, Denise, at your age, it's just a phase. You'll be fine. But I wasn't fine. I didn't feel fine. I didn't feel like myself. I was not sleeping. I was hot all the time. I was cranky. I mean, truly, at one point, after a really bad night, my husband said to me, Denise, you need to do something. I don't know what it is, but we need to do something. And so even though I'd already seen the doctor and I had talked to a nurse and a nurse practitioner and some other professionals, I couldn't find the answers that I needed. So I went to Dr. Google, like everybody. And even back then, and I'm going back 12 years. Okay, yeah, I'm going back 12 years. So even then, the internet was just so full of information, misinformation, pieces of truth, lots of sales pages, lots of buy my stuff, but there wasn't a real connection. And to me, that was what was missing. Why would I buy a product or a program if I didn't know if it was going to work for me? Already been there, done that. So I really was frustrated and kind of felt like truly that the internet was broken because it was just so much, pardon the French, crap. And so what ended up happening, I was about to give up and just kind of go, all right, well, this is what the rest of my life is going to be like. I came across a website of an OBGYN who had a questionnaire on their website, filled out the questionnaire, sent it off. Literally 15 minutes later, my phone rang and it was a nurse from that company. And she gave me the time to tell what was going on, to cry, to, just let out my feelings. And so even though at that moment she had a product and a program to sell me, she didn't. Instead, she listened to me. We got a 2-week plan together and connected. At that point, 2 weeks later, when we reconnected again, because we had a plan and she checked in with me, we made a connection. I was so ready to buy whatever she had, whatever she was going to offer me, I was going to get it. I was going to take it. And so that was something that stayed in the back of my mind, was that connection piece, being able to talk to somebody like right then and there, not 3 weeks from now when, the person's schedule might be open. So that's really the start of, that was the seed that was planted for Living Healthy List. Mm-hmm. And then just a handful of years ago, I was at a program, I was in the middle of a program, an event. And I was talking to some other coaches, health coaches, wellness coaches, kind of people in all different areas of health and wellness. And we were all saying the same thing. We're spending a lot of time on social media, but we're not connecting to the client we want to help, who we can help. And then on the flip side, if we can't find them, they can't find us. So I said to my husband, Mark, it'd be really great if there was a website where you can find curated information and get experts, who've actually, again, been vetted on one website. And so he said, so do it. And I did.
and that website is called livinghealthylist.com. Mm-hmm. And I actually went to the website when we first connected. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much information on here, like it's valuable and they're legit. And I remember one of the things that you had talked about when we first connected was that you make sure that, the people who's contributing to all the resources are actually providing legitimate information, like valuable information that can actually lead to some benefit for the reader or for whoever the consumer is using. So that really stuck to my head.
Well, I think it's important. I mean, it's one thing to have a website of, here's just a list of experts that can help you, versus what I've created at Living Healthy List. Here's a list of experts who I know, love, and trust, who have been referred to me, who I have connected with and kind of, interviewed before inviting them to participate on Living Healthy List. So mm-hmm. I know the information that they're providing comes from here. It's not about, dollars and cents. I mean, we all have a program or a product. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I do. But that's not where we start. We really start with that good, honest, reliable information and education and the connection to the right expert or experts. So, if you're looking for a better relationship, I have a love coach. If you're looking for somebody to help you with your basically getting your life back on track so you can do better in your business, I have somebody who could do that too. So, but again, I know these people to the point where they're in my phone and I can call them and say, hey, I have this client who popped onto Living Healthy List. This is what they're looking for. Are you the right person?
Yeah.
I think that's important rather than just a list of people.
You're making different connection for a lot of people, and like you're the person behind the scene and doing all that. I love that. Going back to the story where you were going through that menopause at 37, I kid you not, just a couple of weeks ago, I had this severe migraine that was just showing up. I always had this migraine, headaches. I used to just call them headache. And then and it usually occur right around my period time. So like before and then after, I usually get this massive headache. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm coming down to that point where I might be in the menopause period and stage. Shocking.
Well, it's one of those things. And I didn't know this when I started. Well, so I'm gonna tell you something that I know you're gonna be shocked. I just turned 50. So
no.
I did.
You're lying.
1971. So I look back at 37 to 50. I'm so glad that I connected and found that person who could help me. There's a product that I started taking, and I kid you not, I still take it to this day because it's helped. Just to the point where, it's helped a bit. No, it changed my life. And, for most women, when you're in your 30s, you still have, well, I don't, but a lot of people still have kids at home and they're young. And so they're still in that child rearing stage. They're not thinking menopause or perimenopause. They're just thinking, I got to get the kids to soccer practice and dinner on the table. And, oh yeah, I have a meeting tomorrow. They're juggling all these other things, but it can actually happen in your early 30s. Usually mid to later 30s is what they consider perimenopause. But it's something that could go on until you're in your mid to later 50s. I just turned 50 and I'm not there yet.
You're too young. You're young.
Exactly.
You still don't fit in that categories yet.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so going from experiencing personally that menopause period and looking into consuming all these health information overload on Google's and everywhere, infomercials, and then leading to something that you actually wanted to pursue as your career. That's a big shift. So what speaks to me right now is the word courage. So what does courage means to you?
Courage to me means, and I think it means something different at different stages of your life. For me, courage was taking the information that I had, like the stimuli that I had, one with my personal health and what was going on there, and the information that I was finding or not finding, and saying, okay, what can I do with this? What's missing that I need, that if I need it, other people need? And then taking those thoughts and making something out of it. And actually, rather than just saying, oh, it would be really good if there was a website that had this, that's great. The courage is actually doing it and making a difference. And it's hard. It's a struggle. When I first started telling people about Living Healthy List and what I envisioned, a lot of them just kind of looked at me and they're like, oh, so it's just kind of like a list of names? And like, no, it's so much more. And as we started to get a little bit more momentum, people all of a sudden would go, oh, I get it. And so the courage piece, when I first started and people didn't get it or, didn't want to join me, I could have just said, okay, well, okay, fine. It was a thought, but no, I went beyond that and I accepted the no's. And we know that none of us like to hear no, but I accepted the no's and still moved forward with it.
Yeah.
That's courage.
It sounds like taking an idea and actually, so we all have those moments where, oh my gosh, I have this great idea. I wonder if I can make this work. And so there's two type of people I always describe. One is you take that idea and you start running with it and do all these, like, no matter how challenging it is, you kind of just figure it out along the way. And there's this other group, they take the idea, oh, there's a roadblock, let's just drop the idea. It's not a good idea.
Exactly. And it's the courage to get around the roadblock. Sometimes I think sometimes the universe puts the roadblock in the way really to kind of test our resilience. Our courage, yes, but our resilience. Okay, because how many times in life did you come up against a roadblock? Well, if you just kind of went, oh, okay, roadblock, I'm going to stay put where I am, you'd be in the same place you were 20 years ago, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's that courage to be able to see the roadblock for what it is, an opportunity, and to either go around it, go under it, go over it, whatever you need to do to get around that obstacle and move forward. Momentum,
Was there
everything moving forward, like kind of like something in motion stays in motion, an object in motion.
I love that. Yeah, you do need that momentum. And I'm wondering, in your career, in your experience, have you ever come to the point where you almost wanted to give up, but you're glad now that you didn't?
No, never. I'm fibbing. Of course. There are all sorts of roadblocks when you're doing something new and unique, or just something that's new to you. Think of the learning curve. I am not a techie person, and I have this incredible website that's really intricate and there's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff that is on Living Healthy List. We're going to be adding more. Talk about like when you have the idea, oh, okay, we need a media page. Okay, well, that needs to be on the website because we want people to come to our website. So for me, all of the tech stuff, at one point, I truly did feel overwhelmed and went, I don't know how to do this. And I could have literally just said, this was a great idea, but I don't know this stuff. And I still, there are days when I kind of look at my to-do list and I look at, am I being the CEO or am I being the workhorse? Those are hard days because, when you're in business for yourself, sometimes you have to do a little bit of both. And sometimes it's more working in your business than on your business. And I think when I have lots of those days back to back, where I'm just kind of working in the business, doing the things that have to get done and not focusing on growth and marketing and those pieces, which really will grow my business. Those are the days I kind of step back and go, am I really doing the right thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can totally relate to that because initially when I first started, I had zero money or very low budget to even outsource anything at all, like graphic, VA, whatever. One person doing it all. Yep. And instead of focusing on how many people I talk to or how many clients that I can reach out to, it wasn't like that. It was more about, okay, getting all these graphics, starting a blog, writing something very administrative, and just get those done, and I'll be happy with it. That's called success.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. We just recently launched a product, Living Healthy List Academy, and I spent 2 months, if not more, working in the nitty gritty of what does the sales page look like? What do the graphics look like? Okay, we have 12 courses. How are we going to get that all into the academy? I uploaded videos and uploaded all this stuff. because I do have an assistant. I'm very fortunate to have an amazing assistant, but this wasn't something that I could have her do. One, because she's doing a ton of other stuff for me, but also sometimes I think as an entrepreneur, you need to know how to do something before you can actually hire somebody else or to do it for you. You need to have that knowledge base, because if you just say, oh, okay, this person can do it, and just have them run with it, you lose control.
Yeah. And it's so important to set up expectation, because when you hire someone, that person has to match your energy, know exactly what direction you're going, and you have your expectation in setting up the deadline. So if you haven't done it all, you wouldn't have those expectations set out, and you wouldn't know what to hire, what to look for. And the variety is just outrageous. You can create a post on Facebook, and you're going to get hundreds of response from VA reaching out to you.
No, it's very true. Very, very true.
Was there a big aha moment for you in your business?
I have one every day.
I think every day is a light bulb moment.
You know, it's funny. Every year in February, my husband Mark and I go away to Hawaii for 3 weeks. This coming year, actually, we're doing things a little different. But what happens every year when I'm at that, when we're in Hawaii, that's true vacation. So sometimes the aha is, oh yeah, step back and take a vacation. And that happens every year when we're there. But I think what happens when I'm on that vacation, there's always an aha that pops up, because my mind is free. I'm not thinking about the marketing for this month, because that's being taken care of. I know that. I'm not thinking, oh, I have to be on this meeting, or I have all of these daily things that I'm doing. The time that I'm away, the ahas that pop up are the next idea for Living Healthy List. What's that next step? So I know, so not this February before, Living Healthy List Academy, that was one of those ideas. It's another touch point for our audience. And I wouldn't have really thought about that. Yeah, sure, I had a course and it was up on Teachable and it was fine. But now when I had that first aha, I was like, well, wait a minute, I have all these experts and all these experts have these programs. Why don't we put it all in one place again so people can find it? So I think every year I have a big aha, and it's that next thing for Living Healthy List.
So tell me a little more about this Living Healthy List Academy. What is it?
Sure. So Living Healthy List Academy is an extension of our education and information. So it's kind of our education platform. And what we are doing with the Academy is it's another touch point for our audience to meet our experts. So you can go on to our main website. You can read a coach's profile. You can read their blog posts. You can kind of get to know who they are. Well, now with the Academy, you can get to know them a little bit deeper. You see their videos. You can learn how they teach, how they coach. Going through what I call the 101 course is kind of like introduction to, so it would be like introduction to Michelle. And what I find is those, for a lot of people, they want the help, but they're not sure if they're ready. And they're not sure if a coach is the right one. Now, I am the first to tell you, a bunch of years ago, I picked a coach who I did not jibe with. Ooh, it was bad. It was, and I signed up for a year, and it did not help me. It hindered me, because I kind of thought, oh, she's kind of fun. She's bubbly, somebody else liked her, so I'll go with her. Had I been able to go through a short course with her or something, I would have learned right away that, we just weren't meant to work together. And so with Living Healthy List Academy, that's it's a great way to test drive, so to speak, to test drive a coach or coaches. Our courses most of them are $200 or less. We do have one that's a longer course that is, I think, $297. But again, entry level, for a next step for our audience to meet our experts and feel confident when they're when they go through the program, one, that they're going to get something out of it, that they're going to learn something, but also that they're that next step closer to working with one of the experts.
It almost sounds like it's saving a lot of time. So what pop into my head is it's almost like each coach, if we were from looking at the coach's perspective, it's like each coach have their own platform where they get to connect with the audience. They have that visibility. They go out there and say in front of the audience. And if the clients feels they're connected, they like your energy, they like your vibe, and then they just pretty much, signed up with you. So it's a great way for a coach to actually think about, how do I get myself out there? It's not just another Facebook, because I think Facebook is a great way to connect people, connect coaches with the audience, so that your audience get a chance of who you are and what your vibe is like, and do I want to work with you, kind of thing. So you're actually collecting everybody together.
Absolutely. Because when you think about it, if you have a course an evergreen course, you have to put it somewhere. And if you have one course and you're paying whatever for a platform, and it's $300 a year, and every time you sell that course, that platform takes a piece of it. Well, I get that, that's for me, or for my coaches or experts, that's something that they don't have to worry about anymore, because we've taken care of all of that information. They don't have to pay for the platform. They don't actually have to pay for any kind of advertising or marketing of that program, because we're doing it for them. And so, yes, a lot of it's on Facebook and on social media. And truly, social media works when you engage in it. And I think that's sometimes it's a little too much. I get that. But if you're engaging on different platforms, so my Living Healthy List platform, your own platform, that's 2 platforms, as opposed to your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page. With Living Healthy List, you have a bigger audience, a bigger reach, and it's a lot easier to manage your time on social media when somebody else is taking care of much of what you want, much of the information that you want out there. So with a course, each week we start marketing a course. And so if it's your week, if you're the coach whose week it is, it's going to be all over Living Healthy List, and you just share. So it's really, it helps the coach. It also really helps the audience, because that's the person who I set out to help initially, and then realize that, wait a minute, I can help the people looking for the information, the client. I can help the coaches too. Why not marry them? Which is what Living Healthy List is.
Yeah, you're the super connector in the medium between everybody. So Denise, what is your next step? Because you have all these aha moments that come, light bulb moments throughout the year, throughout the day. So what's your next step?
So my next step, and I'm really excited about this. My next step, now that the Academy is up and running, and we're starting to do some real good marketing with it, is actually to get back into coaching. I love coaching. My background is food and beverage, nutrition. And I'm actually this summer going to start my first power group that I haven't done since I started Living Healthy List a year and a half ago. So I'm really excited to get back into coaching, because it is such a big part of Living Healthy List. And as the curator, I still need to make sure that I'm keeping my coaching skills up to that, that high level.
It's going back to that point where you got to do those things that you are passionate about in order to outsource it to someone else, and know that, these are the quality I'm looking for. These are the characteristics of a coach that I'm looking for. Yes. And I like to invite them onto my team.
Exactly. Because you're right. If I don't coach from now until the end of time, I'm going to lose that connection with the coaches. And that's something that I can't afford with Living Healthy List, because then I may accidentally invite people who aren't the right fit. And I think for me, that's part of that curated piece that I think is essential. It really makes Living Healthy List different from other sites you can find online. There are plenty of sites that, you're looking for a chiropractor. Here's a list of them.
Yeah.
Of course, you can do that on Google too.
True. And you have a podcast too. What's your podcast called?
I'm busy.
I know you're busy.
But fun busy. So the program that I do every Wednesday for Living Healthy List, the Living Healthy List Wednesday is called Wonder Series Wednesday, and that's the event that I had you on a couple, oh gosh, maybe 2 months ago now, and that's called the Wonder Series. That's something that I do live here on StreamYard if I can. Sometimes I record those, but those go out every Wednesday. But the podcast, I started a podcast with my business bestie, Suzanne Taylor King, back in January. And it was something that kind of fell into my lap. She said to me, I have this opportunity to do a podcast, but I don't want to do it without you. You want to join me? And without asking any questions, I said, okay, let's do it. So the podcast is called The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise. And essentially what we talk about is life and business, and how if you nourish your body, if you move your body, and sometimes just be still, your life and your business can grow exponentially, and you can eventually find that healthy, happy lifestyle that you are looking for. But those 3 pieces are really essential, and they fit beautifully with what I call the Living Healthy List method: eat real food, make good decisions, and be accountable. So each of those, whether it's Nourish, Move, Be with the podcast, or Living Healthy List, eat real food, make good decisions, be accountable, those 3 things, by focusing on one, kind of the method, life is so much easier. I mean, when you think, if you start to make good decisions, it's kind of like that perpetual motion. You make good decisions, you make another good decision, and all of a sudden, all of those good decisions brings you to a place where you go, wow, how did I get here? This is great. Or on the flip side, if you're making bad decisions, you're not moving, you're not eating well, and you're not kind of taking that time for you, you end up slipping backwards, and you find yourself in a place where, you're overweight, your knees hurt, all of those things that people kind of complain about, and say, oh, it's my circumstance. Well, you can actually do things to change a lot about your circumstances. And truly, if you're eating real food, making good decisions, and being accountable for the things you do, guess what? Circumstances will only get better.
Yeah. I agree 100%, because and funny how you mentioned accountability, because yesterday I was doing so I have another podcast. It's a solo podcast, and I was sharing about inconsistency. I've been inconsistent with my weight and diet, and so like 2 weeks ago, I reached out to my personal trainer whom I've worked with in the past. I said, listen, I need accountability.
Having an accountability buddy really is, I think it's an essential, no matter what you're doing in life, whether it's, your health and wellness, whether it's business, whether it's relationships. I mean, think about, like, my number one accountability buddy is my husband, Mark. And what's cool about that is he will call BS for what it is. And that's what you need in an accountability partner. You don't need somebody to tell you how great you are. Oh, it'll be fine. You know how great you are. But that accountability, if a person is just telling you what you want to hear, that can't keep you accountable. That kind of derails you. So having somebody to be accountable to I think is an essential piece of that.
I call it someone calling out our bullshit.
Yeah, that's Mark. He does it really well.
Yeah, just call me out on my bullshit.
Yeah. And, and it's not that they're being rude or, critical. It's that they want what's best for you. So that's the accountability partner. But think about it. You want what's best for you. And if you're accountable to your actions, your decisions, you can kind of go, okay, haven't been paying attention to what I'm eating the last couple months. I'll own that. And then you move forward, you do better. You come up with a plan. Sometimes the plan is, okay, I've been eating bagels for breakfast. I don't know. I love bagels. I haven't had a bagel in like weeks. I've been eating bagels for breakfast every morning, and by 9:30, I'm hungry, so I'm eating something else. Okay, well, maybe you shouldn't be eating the bagel at breakfast. or just the bagel. Maybe there's something else that you need to do. And then you can take that information and change it. When you make positive changes, positive attracts positive, kind of one of those things. And again, you start moving in that direction that you actually want to go. And, we were talking earlier about courage. And yes, it does take courage to look at yourself in the mirror and go, all right, sister, you did this. You got to fix it. And then do it. Because we could all just kind of go, oh, it's too hard. And it is hard. Sometimes life is hard. Sometimes it's really easy and fun. But you have to kind of get through those hard times too.
Yeah. Life is not supposed to be easy. Who said it's easy? Like that's just a limiting belief. It was not meant to be easy. It's supposed to be life. Yeah,
exactly. And I think people will say, oh, well, I just want to have fun. I just want to have a great time. I want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. I want to have fun too. We're here for a short, when it comes to, ecologic time, a short period of time. And we do want to enjoy our life. But how much better can you enjoy your life if it's in a positive way? Whether you're helping other people, you're doing something unique, you're doing the things that you love to do. Again, all of those things, I truly believe, take courage, because you can kind of do what everybody else does, work that 9-to-5 job. We've all been there, right? I actually don't think I ever had a 9-to-5 job. I think I had like a 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. kind of job.
You probably still do, but this is something that you're super passionate about. So you don't even realize that, you're doing the work. It's actually your passion. You're living it. So
it's so true. It's so true. Like I'll work on a weekend for a couple of hours, and maybe I'm writing a blog post, or maybe I'm editing a book. Scary. I'm editing a book that I'm writing. And, I could spend 2 hours doing that, and it's great. It's fun. Time flies. But then I also realized that, okay, it's Saturday. It's a nice day. Let's go do something. I think it's also about setting parameters.
Yeah, setting up boundaries.
Yes.
Denise, I can talk to you for hours and hours and days, but I want to be respectful of your time. And I would love to have you back when your book is out, because I would love to learn more about your book. What is it that you're working on? Because I know you're all over the place just like me, and I'm like super energetic just by being in the presence of you. So
I love it. I think that'd be great. I would love to. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us where we can find you.
Okay, so our main website is livinghealthylist.com, kind of like your shopping list. And right from that, our homepage, you can connect with me right there. There's a contact form. It comes directly to my email. And so if you have questions, please don't hesitate. You can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn, all at Living Healthy List. And I think on YouTube on Living Healthy List as well.
Yeah, and she's also on Instagram. So I will have all the episode notes and links and all her information available in the comments, in the description box, in the episode notes. You gotta connect with her, because she's like high energy, high level, and you would not regret. There's not a moment of, what are we gonna do next? There's always something. There's that aha moment from Denise all the time.
It's always fun. Michelle, thank you. It's always such a joy to be in your company, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much, my dear. I'm going to put you in the backstage, and then let me just wrap up the show. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you, Michelle. Bye, hon.
Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching Wednesday Live Coffee Talk. This is a show about love, courage, and connection. Hopefully today you have learned and take away a courage card from Denise to actually put some stuff that you've been thinking about into actions. So join me again as I bring in another guest next week on Wednesday to show you more love, courage, and connection. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to follow me in my Facebook group, The Confidence Lounge for Soulful Centered Entrepreneur. And I will see everyone next week. Bye.